Good morning, how are you all today?
Doing well, thank you.
Great, well I'm glad you can make it today. I'm Tyler Edwards with Veritech Construction. We're here to present our RFP for the inn at Villa Cristina. Again, I'm Tyler Edwards, Project Executive.
I'm Eric Nito, I'm the Project Manager.
I'm Brett Engel, I'm the Superintendent.
I'm Billy Maddox, Pre-Construction Manager.
I'm Christian Martinez, I'm the Building Information Modeler.
I'm Emily Linsky, and I'm the Safety Coordinator.
Again, I'll kick off our presentation today with the project schedule approach. Again, some project milestones. Our start date is December 1st, 2014. Our date of substantial completion is May 2nd, 2016. One of the important things about this is we realize how important it is for our team to provide benefit to the owner. Our schedule is what sets us apart from the competition. That's why we allow the owner to move in furniture, fixtures, and equipment 1 month early, an accelerated schedule at no cost to the owner. Again, I'll touch on a couple of key durations really quickly. Construction phase is 341 days. The post-tension concrete tower is 120 days, working days. And I'll also talk a few things about the critical path items that we have up here. If you can see on the bottom picture, that's a rendering of our parking deck. The reason why that's a critical path item is because the way that our tower crane is positioned, which Billy will touch base on the site logistics plan later on in this presentation, is because we feel that it's most logistically savvy to work farthest away towards the crane so that the crane operator has an open line of sight to where they're making their picks. Additionally, you can see in the top picture, the exterior skin of the building is a critical path item because it holds up the installation of HVAC systems for this building.
Next, we have our approach to pre-construction. At Veritech, we take a unique, hands-on and collaborative look at our pre-construction process. And the first way we do this is by having a hands-on meeting with our owner at least once a week. During this meeting, we check his needs, we check his project.
We make sure he knows everything that's going on, just so everyone's on the same page and moving forward. Excuse me. Next, we move into our cloud sharing software that we utilize. We use this between our owners, between our architects, our contractors, pretty much anyone on the project to share RFIs, just any document that's pertinent to the construction process, so everyone's updated and everyone's informed at all times. The main program that we use for this right now is Procore. We also have utilized programs such as Microsoft SharePoint, and really just any software that the owner feels best fits his needs to move forward with the project. The next way we approach our pre-construction is through technology. The main thing that we're doing right now is using BIM in our pre-construction. This allows our owners to have a view of what the project's going to look like, and mainly you can see, all the aspects of the project before it's actually done and take a look. It also helps us in our estimating phases by verifying quantities and looking at clash detections of sorts. And the last way that we tackle our pre-construction is by our subs. Subs are an integral part of every project, and at Veritech we have a core of preferred subs that we like to use, but we know with every project there are unique challenges and unique tasks that need to be tackled. So we pre-qualify all of our subs to make sure that they meet our Veritech level. We require a minimum of 3 bids per trade, and we strive to have 6 bids per trade just so we get an even look, even cost, and everyone's playing on a fair level to make sure that we at Veritech get the best estimate possible.
Building off Eric's comments regarding BIM, we can't stress enough how important BIM is in developing the owner's program during the design development phase to make sure the project stays on budget before it's built. On this project even, via Addendum 2, there's an alternate provided for EFIS, which is a less expensive alternative to the faux stone exterior that was previously designed on the building. This is important because we were able to show a model of the building and allow the owner to see what their final product looks like before the project is built, saving time and money and any heartache that might come with choosing the wrong product, but still allowing the owner to make a value engineering decision.
Further following up on pre-construction is our site logistics and phasing. This is something at Veritech we like to take the time to really think about how we can explore all of our resources. For this particular project, we were able to utilize the area to the northwest of the project site, or depicted below in this image. We were able to use a temporary road in order to go around and avoid working through Summit Boulevard, which would interfere with the day-to-day traffic and pedestrian traffic going in and out of the existing facilities. We also have material laydown and employee parking areas here, which would further eliminate construction traffic from flowing through there. Another big point here is our positioning of the crane, which Tyler earlier touched on. We placed it here so that it can reach all areas of the new facility, and it's able to reach and go to the furthest point and work its way back towards itself so that it can make its picks cleanly and has that clean line of sight that Tyler was talking about. We also have here the hoarding surrounding the entire job site. That'll keep the pedestrians going in and out of the existing facilities from making their way into the construction zone, which increases safety, which Emily will touch on.
So here at Veritech, safety is the #1 priority on each of our job sites. We use incident and injury-free policies to promote our zero accident culture. This is a way of saying that we don't think that accidents are just part of the job. They should be something that can be and will be avoided. Our tiered approach to safety has 3 main parts, starting with engineering controls, working towards administrative controls, and then finally personal protective equipment. So with engineering controls, it's all about preventing problems before they even happen. We try to figure out what problems might have the most risk for our job site, and we try to mitigate them through educational tools and providing the correct equipment for all of our workers. Then moving on to administrative controls, this is all about communication. We like to have an open job site and create open daily forums where anyone can say anything they want about safety and what makes them uncomfortable and get ideas on how we can fix it and make it the safest workspace that we can. Finally, we get to personal protective equipment, which is just the daily things that our workers will be wearing, like hard hats, vests, gloves, anything to keep them safe. Moving on, we think that safety doesn't just help us and our workers, it also helps the owner. In this project especially, we're going to be taking out some concrete, which can cause breathing problems. So we're going to keep our ductwork off-site as long as possible to keep it as clean as possible to prevent sick building syndrome. That's when people are breathing in contaminants and things that are going to make them sick, make them less productive, make customers later on not want to come back to this hotel. Finally, we want to make sure that we're protecting our pedestrians. We're going to have perimeter hoarding around the job site to prevent people from wandering in, and we're going to have signage at all the entrances that'll say this is an active work site, PPE is required, and that if you're entering the job site, you have to have a safety first mindset.
For this particular job, we understand the importance of, like what I touched on earlier, separating the construction traffic from the pedestrian traffic. The biggest thing here was our ability to utilize that temporary road that was graded out and runs from or beside the adjacent office space. The other thing would be the barricading along Summit Boulevard, which prevents any construction vehicles from entering the area where pedestrians will be driving and users of the restaurant and event space will be. We also like to use what we refer to as a delivery management system, and this is where we allow shipments to come in only between 6 and 7 a.m. This prevents them from coming during times when the existing facilities will be used most. We also use a flow management shipment tracking system. This is just an interface where everyone, all parties, can get on and tell what time, what date they'll be delivering. This helps to prevent backups and helps our schedule to flow very quickly, which is a big point for us, like Tyler talked about.
Absolutely. And at Veritech, we take quality control very seriously. We do this to ensure that your project runs as smoothly and efficiently as possible. One way we do this is through the use of new technologies. New technologies are great. They help us stay one step ahead of the game. They also help us stay one step ahead of our competitors. I'll let Christian touch up on BIM real quick. He's our BIM expert.
Building information modeling is very important to Veritech. We use it from procurement all the way over to turnover and every aspect of the job. It's a very big part of our company here, and it benefits the owner, it benefits us, and it benefits all parties involved.
Absolutely. We also use quality control through samples and submittals. One way we do this is we want to meet with you guys to make sure we know exactly what we're getting into. We want you guys to choose your products, your materials, your colors. Make sure that there's no confusions going into the project. Another way we use quality control is through Autodesk 360. This is an augmented reality tool that allows us to use a tablet. And all you need to do is coordinate your orientation in the building, and then you can point it at, say, a wall, and you can look at the colors, look at all the specs on the wall before it's even built. This helps you see the building before it's even built and know it's exactly what you want. Procore is another tool that we use for quality control. It's a great tool for communication. This helps us communicate between the architect, the owner, and ourselves. We can upload documents, we can upload drawings, we can upload submittals, we can upload RFIs, any questions, so that everybody can see it. There's also a major contact list with everybody's name that helps everybody communicate efficiently.
All right, now we're getting to our pricing proposal. Our pricing proposal is made up of two major components, our hard costs and our soft costs. Our hard costs are our construction costs, and our soft costs are our general conditions. If you guys want to follow along with me as we go through some of our major construction costs, so you guys have a quick look at it. So we start off with our site utilities and our site work. The major component here is our earthwork, which consists of demoing the asphalt parking lot that exists, which is where our new structure is going to go, which is followed up by some landscaping and some hardscaping just to bring the property back up to the quality that it previously was before we started this construction. Then we move into our foundation and our structure. Our major component here is our cast-in-place concrete, which is the main structure for this facility. Then we move on to our exterior skin, which is made up of multiple components. Here we have our EFIS surface, we have our stone, and we have our faux stone. The stone can be switched out for the alternate that was offered in Addendum 2. Then we move into our interior construction, which has many components ranging from drywall to paint to tile. It's really just the components that make up the inner works of our building. And then lastly, we move into our building systems, which is made up of two major components, our HVAC system and our electrical system, which brings us into our soft costs that you can see on the screen here. Our general conditions are made up of our staffing, which includes a full-time PM and a full-time superintendent on this job with some supporting staff, just kind of make sure the job runs smoothly. This also includes our office support costs. On this project, we're actually seeing some savings here because we're actually going to be able to utilize some owner-supplied offices in the existing facility so that we don't have to use an on-site job trailer, which will have some significant cost savings. As you can see here, this also includes our pre-construction services, which was a 10-week process to get us ready for the job. And lastly, we have our CM fee, which on this project was 3.5% to bring us to a grand total of approximately $27.6 million.
One challenge we found while looking at the drawings was the kitchen. We understand that the kitchen needs to be fully operational 24/7 during our 17-month renovation and build-out. One way we're going to help change this is actually, one problem we found was noise. Noise is a big problem in construction. You know, you're not going to be able to change that. The only thing you can do is help mitigate the noise. One way we're going to change that is by putting up a wall, like you see in this left picture, a wall in between the new and existing buildings, and this will help eliminate some of the noise. It'll also help prevent some of the contamination that could potentially happen for the kitchen. You know, construction is dirty, and we don't want any dust to get into the kitchen to shut down their progress. I'll let Tyler touch up on the relocation of the water cooler as well.
Thank you, Brett. Veritech's development of innovative solutions for the industry's most difficult problems sets us apart from other construction managers. As you can see here in the picture depicted, we have a temporary barricade that's installed while we are demoing the exterior of the pre-existing building in order to tie in. We wait until the very last minute in order to make this tie-in so that we leave the owner uninterrupted. We understand how important it is to keep this facility operational at all times. This barricade allows the prevention of air from outside, dust, construction noise from entering the pre-existing facility and allowing the owner to maintain operations. Additionally, I'll touch on the picture on your right. The walk-in cooler will be relocated for the construction of this temporary barricade to keep the facility operational.
Here at Veritech, we stay one step ahead of the competition with our different applications of BIM. We use our BIM for many different things: our scheduling, our cost detection, and as Brett was talking about with the walk-in closet, we use our 3D CAD model. We can use that. We can look at that area in the model of the kitchen and place a wall, a temporary wall or barricade, and we can show the owner this is where the wall will be. This won't affect your kitchen at all. You'll still have your flow of workers going in and out to keep his profitability and keep him happy. It'll keep us happy. And we use BIM in our 4D simulation, which you'll see on the next slide. It incorporates the schedule into a simulation being built up from the ground up. It's a concrete structure. You can see during a certain phase of construction, the owner will be able to see, okay, I have this, now I can look at the simulation and find out where we're at and how that impacts the rest of the project.
And again, the use of BIM, especially in the context of our usage, which would be a federated model, is not only crucial for our team, for our subcontractors, for our owner, but also for everyone, for all parties, for marketing purposes, for every purpose. So BIM is an all-around utility tool that can be used on this project. Some closing comments. At Veritech, we believe it's all about the people. That's why we love working in an industry where we can work with subcontractors, with owners, with the architect, with our team, working towards building a tangible goal, a tangible representation of what we're trying to do. Something that the owner will be proud of, and something that we know that we can be proud of as well. We hope that you all choose us for this project, and we'd love to entertain any questions that you all may have.
Hey, could you provide a little more information on the flow management system you touched on?
Sure, I can touch on that. Well, the flow management system is tied into the delivery management system. It's a cloud-based software similar to SharePoint in its usage. However, it allows shipments to be tracked and shipments to be scheduled within different drivers so that we don't have a backup of not only traffic on the job site, which, as Billy was saying, would cause a detriment to our schedule, but also to alleviate traffic for patrons of the hotel, to keep the hotel operational, to eliminate noise at the worst possible times. So it's a cloud-based software that all parties are on board with so we can schedule and rearrange deliveries.
So all that information you share with your trade contractors and their suppliers?
Yes, it is.
You guys have proposed a 3.5% fee on the project. Where'd you guys get that number from?
We got the number from our previous projects. Based on the size of the project, we like to look at a best fit approach. Depending on the size of the project, let's say we do a smaller project, we would have a higher fee in order to make the project worthwhile for our company. However, since this is a $27 million project, we decided to bump it up slightly to 3.5%, or keep it lower than if it was low, but if it was a $100 million project, it'd be a much higher fee. So that's a historical rate that we use for this project of this varying complexity.
If I come to the site and want to take tours and stuff, do I really need to wear PPE? I mean, our money, our project.
Yeah, you do. Just because we want to make sure our site has as little accidents as possible. We don't want anyone getting hurt. And it's more of a philosophy with all of our workers that if anyone's not wearing their PPE, you have to say something, no matter who it is. So we want to keep everyone safe, and we want to keep everyone working and everyone happy.
I think at Veritech also we have an incident injury-free program that we try and preach. So our safety is not looked at merely as a task, it's merely looked at as a culture and a mindset that we try and put in our site so that no matter if it's the owner who's walking on or if it's a day laborer, kind of everyone has the same mindset coming in of safety so that everyone, while you enter the job site, you come home safely and everyone is involved in our program. It's not really just a task, it's more of a culture.
You touched on the kitchen challenge. Based on your previous experience and any lessons learned, do you see any other big challenges that we have on this project?
As far as this project, we see the number one challenge we see is coordination with the existing facility, keeping it operational. But also, we see the challenge of tying in a concrete structure into a steel building as well, especially if we're waiting until the very last minute to build it. So we're essentially building the parking deck, building the towers, building the connector wing, but we're not yet tying it into the building because we don't want the inside of the pre-existing building to be exposed to the elements for the longest period of time. So we build that barricade and we do it as quickly as possible. It's also located in our schedule that we provided as well. We also see for sanitary issues, we do that as well. The barricade is sanitary, and I believe it's a 9-day period that we're demoing and doing that. But the facility can stay operational, sanitary and everything, keeping in considerations with it being a kitchen.
Yeah, and the key for us too is communication. We just want to hear what you guys have to say. We really want to listen to your needs and make sure that there's no problem going on.
Speaking of, I didn't see the loading dock addressed in your site logistics. How do you keep the loading dock active? If you're going to fence in the entire area, how do I get my deliveries? I've got a restaurant, I've got to manage 300 weddings a year. What are you going to do to help keep you successful?
I think Craig can touch on the delivery management system and how that can help and other factors.
Yeah, our delivery management system, like we talked about, we have them coming in at certain times so that way your deliveries coming in to the restaurant and whatever you need for those weddings, for those events, can be scheduled so that they're not coming in between those periods 6 and 7. That's why we have ours. We would have the construction deliveries scheduled at that earlier time.
Do you want my drivers to come through the site, project site? Are you going to come up your haul road, or?
That's something we have not addressed, and we will have to further look into.
You talked about BIM, you mentioned 4D animations, and there was mention of cost-loaded models. Do you use those throughout construction? And if you do, can you tell me a little bit about how that impacts the job?
Yeah, we use we can also use 5D simulations for cash flow models, so we can incorporate our cash flow model, into our schedule, into our animation, and we can use this during the process because we can see how much cash flow is going out at a certain period of time and how much work is actually getting done within the construction according to the model.
And relative to the investment of time it takes to do that, what sort of benefits can I expect to see as an end?
It's definitely worth the benefits, especially tying into a pre-existing facility. It'd be different if it was just a clear-cut spec office building, but since this is a tie into a pre-existing facility, the tie into HVAC systems requires a lot of coordination with this forced air system. So you would definitely see benefit with clash detection. You'd be able to find the problems in the office, in your model, before you get out into the field and make mistakes costing you money and, more importantly, time.
I think, Alex, what you're trying to make, it takes a good bit of time to put together this 5D model. Your general conditions that you guys have looks like a fairly aggressive number. Could you explain how you guys plan on covering that entire project with, you said you had a superintendent, project manager full-time, and then it looks like you have 10 months of a project engineer, correct? You also mentioned some secretarial staff. Where's that cost covered?
The secretarial stuff is covered actually in our office overhead because it's part of our office. It's secretarial, it's done back. But our project engineer does handle a lot of the submittals, a lot of those other items as well. But that's in our general conditions.
Okay.
Quality-wise, 177 guest rooms, how are you going to control quality, make sure that every guest room is done properly?
Yeah, well, we do that through, well, obviously we talk to you guys first about the materials that we're going to need. But also at the end of the job, once it's all done, we're going through a punch list. We use Procore, a great tool. We can take pictures of all the sites. We're going to walk through with you guys. I'm the subcontractors, or the superintendent, so I'll be walking through with you guys and making sure that everything's good. Take pictures. If you guys point out anything, we'll fix it. Our goal is to do it right the first time. It's not, the job isn't done until it's done right. So we try to do the best that we can for that.
I think another important part in guaranteeing quality of your job is making sure that we do our part in our due diligence when selecting subs and making sure that we have the right people for the job. And by pre-qualifying them, we can ensure that, from what we believe, we have the proper subs. But I think also addressing an issue as they arise is important. If we see an issue early in the project, we shouldn't let that sub continue through the job. We should, handle it and speak with them. If we feel they're not going to meet the need, then the change needs to be made.
Talked a lot about technology and sharing data through the cloud. As you've made those changes as an organization, what ways have you had to adapt to create the infrastructure for that to work?
Well, there have definitely been some growing pains with the process, but with anything great, it takes time and it takes effort, it takes experience. We were able to incorporate into our SharePoint system so that it could be shared with subcontractors. We also have a dedicated link in site that other people can access, other subcontractors. But the main goal wasn't getting us on board, but what matters is getting everyone on board. Because if it's not used, then what's this worth? So we made sure that it's easy and accessible for everyone to use. But we did have a few growing pains with it, but we worked through them, and now we're starting to see the benefits, not only cost-wise, but quality-wise.
I had one question. Your site logistics plan, you guys had talked about getting your tower set up, really to where you could reach all points in the site. From looking at what you guys did on your site logistics, the two buildings are really just the one building, I think it would be to the north of the Villa Christina Hotel. Looks like your boom would actually be, I guess, intersecting with that building there. How would you guys address that, and why have you selected that location for that area?
What we would do is we made sure that the counterbalance on that tower crane is not a distance in which, when it's working on the actual site, it would be interfering with that existing building. And what we would also have to do is make sure the crane operator is aware of where he's allowed to be and what is behind him, and make sure that every day he is updated and we re-hit him on safety with those toolbox talks that we've talked about, because that could, of course, be an issue, but it would be the best area in which we would be able to set up without having the cost of relocating the tower crane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.